What's up guys and welcome back to SP Vids. In this video I'm back on the Dr. Sample SP202 and to be honest I'm not actually going to be doing anything with this. I just want to talk about the memory cards that you can get for these devices. So a big question that I always get about the 202 is, do you need a memory card in order to use this device? And also, is it worth getting a memory card for this device? So I'm going to go through the positives and negatives and sort of talk about why I don't use a memory card, but talk about why there is advantages to having one as well. So the first major problem with memory cards is essentially that they're pretty hard to get hold of these days and they are super expensive. So everyone's sort of latched onto the whole SP202 memory card thing, and if you try and pick one of these up on eBay, you're going to be looking at about $80 or £100 to pick one of these memory cards up, which is absolutely ridiculous. So these are the memory cards that you need. This isn't the right voltage, but it's exactly the same shape. It's a smart media card, and I think for the 202 you need a 1.5 volt one, but don't quote me on that. Please check if you are going to go and buy one. So I had these from a 303. This is 3.3 volts, this one. So yeah, pretty gutted when I tried this when I first got my 202, thinking it would work because it was the right size. But yeah, it's just not the right voltage, so it doesn't work. So yeah, they're very rare, they're very expensive. But importantly to note, and I probably should have started with this point, is that you don't specifically need a memory card in order to use the features of this device. So I think that might be unlike the 404, where it kind of asks for an SD card to go in there before you're using it. This one, you can use all the functions perfectly without any memory card at all. It's got internal memory on it, and you can also pass signals through this as well, which is something I'll get onto later in the video as well. So yeah, all the features here: pitch, time, delay, filter 1, filter 2, ring mod, all the sample rates, hi-fi standard, lo-fi 1, lo-fi 2, they're all accessible without a memory card, but you are obviously very limited in the amount of time that you get to sample into this device. So again, this depends hugely on the sample rates that you're going to use. So hi-fi 1, I think you can get about 15 seconds. Again, don't quote me on this, I'm trying to remember off the top of my head with this one. And I think down to lo-fi 2 is about 30 seconds worth of sample time. But lo-fi 2, I mean, that's almost unusable on samples, it's so distorted. But can add some real crunch to your drum beats if you wanted to use it for that. But yeah, I mean, you're not really going to be venturing that far down the list with this. You probably want to be on the first three. That's in my opinion anyway. Hi-Fi 1 standard and Lo-Fi 1 are the main sample rates that you're going to want to be using on this. So yeah, obviously having a memory card is going to give you a lot more storage, so that is a huge advantage. One of the things that does need to be noted about the memory cards is you will be using bank C and D, which is over here. You can see it says bank and then it says card. You've got INT here, which is obviously internal for A and B. So it gives you access to C and D. But with the effects, you cannot use time or delay. So basically, they must rely on the internal memory. They need the sound inside the internal memory for you to use those two effects. So with the memory card, you actually get less functionality. But obviously, yeah, the main thing that you're getting with it is a huge improvement in the amount of storage that you can have on this device. So there's two options available for memory cards. You can get a 2 megabyte card and you can get a 4 megabyte card. And something that I've learned today actually is that you can actually do backup saves on this. So it says with the 2 megabyte card, you can expect to do 3 backups, and with a 4 megabyte card, you can expect to do 7. So again, that's all going to depend on what sample rates you're using and how many samples you've got on your banks, how long you've sampled, etc., etc. I think that's all going to be dependent on that. So yeah, obviously that's kind of like a rough estimate of what you can do with the memory card. And yeah, obviously another huge advantage is being able to have much longer samples. So when you're using internal memory, between 15 and 30 seconds is not a lot of time. It soon runs out when you're looking for chops in your samples. So by the time you've got to sort of 2 or 3 samples, especially with the slower beats, where you're going to need longer samples to fill those gaps, you're soon going to run out of space on this. So you really probably want to be looking at micro chopping if you're not using a memory card, or you're just going to have to be really, really selective on the chops that you pick out of the sample and just make sure they're definitely the ones that you want to use for the beat. One thing I guess you could do is record the chops that you're going to use on your computer, and then you could just process them into here once you know which ones you're going to use. So yeah, with the memory card, you're going to get that huge improvement in sample time, which means you're not going to have to be as selective with your samples. You could probably sample in pretty large sections of the song and be able to use, the functionality of this in order to process them and get them to sound how you want to. So I think really that is the main advantage of having a memory card, really. I mean, it's pretty obvious that, you have more storage space, but it doesn't really do much else in terms of positives for me because it's very expensive, they're hard to get hold of, and you can't use time or delay. So to kind of answer the whole question, do you need a memory card to use an SP202? No, you don't need one. You can use everything available on this device just with limited sample time. So the main thing that the memory card is doing is just improving the sample time. And I know that sounds really obvious, but yeah, obviously there's those gotchas as well, which come with owning the memory card. So yeah, they are expensive, and a good tip as well if you're looking for one is to look for old digital cameras that use smart media cards. Now, apparently there's a lot of older digital cameras that use these, so it might be worth hunting around on eBay to see what storage they use. But yeah, if you can find an old digital camera that's only £30–40, but it's got one of these cards in, that's obviously going to save you a lot of money. So yeah, I've never bought one, and I've never had any issue with using this apart from the storage time. One thing as well, which you don't need a memory card for at all, and you don't even need to use the internal storage, is the bottom row of effects here. You've got filter 1, filter 2, and ring mod. You can use all of those on the signal just running through the device, so you don't even need to store any information on the 202 in order to use these three effects on a signal. So filter 1 I use all the time, and this is the main thing I use this box for, is just running a signal through it and using filter 1 on it, and then you've just got this really simple one control to change. I mean, this is a low pass filter, so you get to change the sensitivity. Well, I think it'll be the range of it, won't it, with this one dial. Filter 2 I don't really use that much, but I think someone commented the other day actually that filter 2 is like really underused by everyone, and it's actually got some good qualities to it, so it might be worth investigating that if you haven't before. Ring mod is a bit unusable really. There's a crazy kind of really metallic sounding effect which I don't use, but yeah, running things through and using the low pass filter, it just adds such a nice texture to all your beats. So there you go guys, I hope that information was useful. Owning a memory card for one of these is almost more impressive than having a 202 in itself. So you can imagine someone saying, you've got a 202, wait, you've got a memory card for it, that's even more impressive. So yeah, I run mine without one. If you don't mind investing that £100 to get one, I guess it's worth it in a way. But yeah, if you do want to invest in one quite badly but don't have the money, like I say, check out old digital cameras. Apparently they can sometimes have them in there. So if there's anything I've missed or you want to ask some more questions about this device, feel free to leave a comment below. Please don't forget as well to head over and follow me on Instagram. I'm going to be doing a competition there soon. And yeah, it'd be really cool if you could go over and follow me on there anyway, just to build up my following a little bit. It's spvids_. Yeah, go over and follow me on there, and I'll be announcing details about that competition very soon. But apart from that guys, yeah, that's it for this one. Keep making beats and I'll be back with more content very soon. Peace!